we did an episode, which was episode 211. Go back. It was just an update on my sobriety journey that I have decided to embark upon to become a better person, become a better parent, etc. All that jazz.
And you've become a great person.
Is that sincerity or sarcasm? Like,
I don't
such
know.
a fine line. Either way, I'll take it. Yes? Anything else? Spit it out.
The old Ash there's nothing wrong with the old Ash. I love the old Ash.
He achieved so much.
But if he ever comes back, God help us all.
Well, you never know. You never know. I'm not
it's hard. It's been a slow metamorphosis into the incredible man you are today.
Well said. I was going to say the same thing, but you beat me to it. Yeah, so I did get a big response from that episode, and at the time I was quite overwhelmed by it all because of the amount of messages. So I don't want people to think that I've ignored you. I see you. You've been seen, and I appreciate it, first of all. There were a lot of personal stories that came across that I can't read out because for personal, obvious reasons, but I just want to know that I've acknowledged it, and I see it, I read it, and I appreciate it. And for anyone out there that is struggling, please just open your mouth and talk to someone because it's very important. And do not feel that you can't send me a message because usually the messages start with, I know you I know you're not going to see this or something like that, but I try my best to see as much as I can. Does that sound right? Anyway, but I do have one here I want to read out that, I don't know, at the time, this one, I did respond back and said, hey, do you mind if I read this out? She said yes, I think. No, she said yes, and we just haven't got around to it because, again, it was all so overwhelming for me. But here we are. I'm going to read it out and then, see where we end up. I've just finished listening to today's episode, which is hashtag episode 211. Wow, we've come a long way. Ash, as a daughter of a functional alcoholic father, you sharing your story hit hard. It never felt like my father tried to stop drinking. We didn't talk about it. We just lived with it and it damaged us. My mum never left him and she should have. Now I'm older, I have sympathy for him, but still don't really understand. Why weren't we worth getting better for? Fuck that. Sorry. That line fucking kills me. I understand it's a selfish perspective, but that's how it felt. He never beat his demons and died 5 years ago at the age of 68. It wasn't until his funeral where memories were shared that some good memories of Dad came back from when I was much younger. They had been clouded by all the bad memories. He wasn't violent, but he was an asshole drunk. I hear how hard it's been for you. I hear your love for your kids. The little girl in me, the daughter in me, is cheering you on with love and pride despite not knowing you. Your kids are younger, so they may never really know the deep impact this choice of sobriety from you will have on their lives. But I can tell you it is life-changing. Keep fighting, Ash. The line in there, let me reiterate that because this is what really sent this one home for me, which originally it wasn't the overall arc of this journey. It was sort of like a knock-on benefit. This was for me, there was some of it where I wanted to be better for them, but I didn't really realize the impact until I'm this far in now, right? Where it was, why weren't we worth getting better for? I can't imagine my life where I didn't give myself the opportunity to be better for them and then to think back and go, they're more than worth getting better for, right?
Mm. It's really easy to say about your kids, I'll do anything for them. Like, I love them unconditionally. But to say it and then to physically make that a reality are two separate things.
I would hate for my kids to, down the track, if I didn't do anything about it, I would hate for them to have that conversation with someone where it was like, I guess we weren't good enough to get better for. That would fucking, even if I was dead, it would break my fucking heart again.
Have they noticed or picked up on any change, do you think?
It's so obvious. The change is so obvious. It's like, it's so easy to be oblivious about your behavior with things, and you're oblivious about how you are, as minor as it may seem, how major it is for them. Because I like I say, it's like I'm their whole world, right? It's like Jen puts it really simply. It's like they don't want to let you down. Think about like, imagine the person that you don't want to let down just not making the effort for you. So it kills me to think that for 6 or so years that I was that guy, that it wasn't.
Do you like Macy was probably too young, but like Oscar has grown up knowing that his dad would have a beer at night time. Has he picked up on the fact that there's not beers in the garage or beers in the fridge? Does he notice that at all?
Yeah, I think there was a time there where I was drinking so often that even if I wasn't drinking a beer, he just assumed it was. And at the time, it was kind of like a laugh away moment where you're like, oh yeah, you know what? But now I look back and it's just fucking sad. My relationship with Oscar is way better. I think growing up, I felt a bit isolated. I felt like now that I'm an adult, anytime I do something, I can't do it alone. I've got to do it with someone. And I was always like, I always felt like that as a kid. And then my therapist said to me, now that you're older and you're like still look for people to do things with you, you've got a best friend right there. He's right there, and it's him. And now that I'm sober and I feel like I'm way more emotionally intelligent than I was 6 months ago. Because I'm reflecting back on who I was. And now it's like, okay, well, I've got an opportunity to make up for that. And that's where I'm at.
How are you finding it? What do we day
156.
How do you feel now versus those other milestones that we've hit of like day 50, day 100?
I think I'm the happiest I've ever been, ever in my life. I'm way more assured of myself. I'm way more confident in my abilities. I'm way more in tune with my kids, obviously. I'm like, I decided to also make the call to have a break from my meds just because I felt like I was abusing them when I was drinking as a cure for my hangover.
Yeah.
And then it morphed into where I was just built up a tolerance because of that.
Yeah.
And then I was starting to get frustrated and moody, and I would snap and then I'd have to come crawling back so instantly. And I would snap at April over something so minor and she didn't deserve that, but I wouldn't dwell on it. I'd be like, I would pull myself up after and go, this is not you. Go and apologize before it's too late.
Is there any reason why you stop cold turkey instead of tapering off?
You've known me long enough to know that I'm not going to taper off anything.
Ash is someone who is all or nothing. Well, I'm just wondering that, like, does that need to have, like, it's a big change. And you've been on meds for how many years now? How long?
I've only been on, like, I'm still on my antidepressants because the withdrawal from that I've been through, and I'm not prepared for that yet. I think in this instance, I just had the morning off once and thought, if I need them, I can always take them.
Mm-hmm.
And one day turned into now, which is, nearly 2 weeks. I'm expecting some sort of drop off somewhere, but at the moment, also as well, like I've learnt and I've got more tools than I did before I started.
Yeah.
So I can sort of pick up or know what I need now when I was hitting the piss, using them to get back on to level terms without actually putting in any effort.
Yeah.
Which I feel like that's the easy way out. But now I'm like, okay, if I get some exercise in the morning, and it's so fucking cliche to be like, get some exercise, eat properly.
Fresh air.
You get out what you put in, full stop. And I've never ever lived by that one bit. I'm always like, I'm here for a fucking good time and not a long time. That's how I've pictured myself. I've always said to people as a passing joke, if you see me over the age of 65 in a car park, hit me with your car. And that was just how I felt.
Why?
Because it was like, this was fucking exhausting. And it was like, why would I want to be old and exhausted? I'm exhausted now.
Yeah, as a 20-year-old.
I was fucking, I've had enough now, but my perspective on life is shifting every day.
I remember Geraldine, she was in I'm a Celebrity with me. She is diagnosed ADHD and she would always have one day off.
Yeah.
Normally a Sunday because it was kind of a quiet day. And she would find it like a really tricky day.
Yeah.
On that day off, that one day where she didn't have her meds. I know you talked about you have a lot of voices, you know, you don't have the clarity in your head. Has that come back at all? Having so much noise with no meds?
So I think you did tell me that when you came out of the jungle, and I said I didn't feel like I had the luxury of that because of the kids, right? What I would have hated in that moment was me taking it all week to get by, and then the Sunday where I'm spending the time with my family, I'm not okay.
Yeah.
And I thought that's actually really selfish of me. And it's like I'm probably better off having a day off. I contemplated having a Monday off.
Yeah.
Because like, the kids are back at school, I could have a doona day.
Yeah.
But in this instance, it was the same with alcohol. I felt like I was just ready to have a break. And it was way easier, and I feel like I braced myself for that hard day, and it didn't come.
Great.
And I thought, yeah, great. And I also thought, well, I can't go in thinking this is all great because one day I could turn around and bang. And I think I'm way more conscious of my emotions and my feelings now that I can sort of pull myself up before I fall down that trap again of using the meds for the wrong reasons instead of the right reasons. I've taken those things that I've learnt being on them and been like, okay, well, I pretty much sleep in my shoes now. If that makes sense to an ADHD where it's like, you take your shoes off, you're done for the day. I just never take them off anymore. So I'm never done. And it's like,
I sleep standing up.
well, it's kind of that old thing where it's like, okay, like this morning I didn't have to get up and go for a run. I felt like I've done a lot yesterday. I did this morning. It's like April was like really encouraging me. She's like, if you want to do it, you go and do it if it's going to make you feel better. And arguably it does. And then I'm like pumping myself full of protein in the mornings now, which is fueling my brain, which I just previously thought, fuck it, you know. I'll take some meds to fuel my brain. And it doesn't mean I'm not going to go back on them if I need them. I think when it gets to the point where I'm like, you know, life changes. I feel like life changes for me every week. So it's like, I don't know what I'm going to be like next week. And I might need them, whether they're short acting or long acting. But there's one thing that I do know, which I will touch on when I sort of get a little bit further into the journey of sobriety, is that I don't think I'll ever drink again.
Wow. It is so fucking crazy.
That fucking breaks my heart.
Why? Why does it break your heart?
It's like losing a best friend. Think about like the one thing you would rely on. Bad day, good day, something inconvenient, celebration. Think of everything, right? That one thing has been there since I was 14 years of age. And it's always the one thing that I've been able to, in those moments, rely on being there and not going to not be there.
Yeah. And
not have to worry about the trust of it not being there. But when it, you know, it's literally like your best friend dying. That's how I think about it.
But then I look at it a little bit differently because I look at what your supposed best friend, what path it was dragging you down. I'm like, that's not your best fucking friend.
Yeah, but because I'm the closest person to it, I don't see it. It's like you see, okay, for example, you see your friend in a relationship that you know that the other person's toxic, but they don't know until they break up and they're like, fuck. That's where I'm at. I'm in this moment here where I'm like, who I thought was my best friend because I'm the closest person to it is actually wrong. Yeah. And you're right, but it isn't my best friend, you 100%. But what it feels like to me is heartbreak because I see it as it was always my best friend, but now I'm on the way out. I'm like, you were the worst thing for me. You were borderline going to tear my family apart, right? All for yourself. So it's like now that I'm on the outside looking in,
So how have you mourned losing what you could consider as your best friend?
I think the relationships with the real relationships have got me to a point where I'm like, this is way better. These kids and my wife are worth it. And that's not.
Is that relationship with alcohol, now that it's been a long time, do you think you'll always view it as being a best friend? Or do you think you'll be able to see it for the truth and the reality that it really was?
You know when you outgrow a friend? Yeah, like that. I don't regret the fun and stuff I had and the people I get to meet and the things that I got to do, and I used it for courage in certain aspects. As
Oh,
you do.
yeah.
But it's the friend that I've outgrown. And you do that. That's how I see it.
It's amazing to see where you are now, and I never in a million years, when I met you 3 years ago, thought that we would be here talking about the fact that you're not going to drink again. I never thought, and like, not to say that I didn't think you had it in you, but it was just such an ingrained part of your personality.
Yeah, and that's another thing that I was like so worried about losing. And you hear everyone that does go sober, they're like, you're actually the things that you think you are while you're using, you're actually that, but way 10 times better without it. And it's so true. Like, walking into the cafe this morning, I saw these 4 old Italian guys sitting there, and they were talking about porn, for all things. And I thought, and I knew them all, and I did for 5 minutes as I just sat there and cracked jokes about it, and they had such a good time, and I left there and I thought, I still am that guy, but without it. And if not, I'm quicker, I'm snappier, like with my responses. I feel like finally, after so many years, my brain's starting to grow back.
Yeah.
Which is scary too, because then it's like, what's it going to start telling me?
Yeah. Mate, it's so amazing to see. And as a child who grew up pleading with his dad to not drink, and being promised time after time after time that he would stop drinking, and then finding wine in his room and finding hidden beers in the garage, and someone who could never say no to alcohol, to see you do it, it makes me so happy that you could have gone down a much different path in life.
Yeah, the way I describe it is like you are just being one big fucking liar when you're drinking.
Yeah.
In that, like, go out, have fun with your mates or whatever, but there's a very big difference between that, and it's quite a slippery slope before it's turned you into the most deceitful person.
Yeah.
And just because, like, you have no reason, why you are just deceiving your closest people and your most loved ones around you. It's not you doing it.
But, with your kids now at the age that they're at, it's easier to hide those lies and the deceitfulness at this age.
Yeah.
As they get older, it becomes way more aware. And so what a blessing that you've been able to have this moment now in your life and to change at the age that your kids are at, that it wouldn't have any long-term effect on your relationship with them growing up.
Yeah, I'm thankful that I figured it out now, because I got some messages that I obviously they're personal and people want me to see them only, is that, their husband or whatever, or wife or whatever it might be, it actually tore their family apart. And it's like, someone said to me, like, the father of my children, he's sober now, but it was just all too late. And it's like, it's so sad.
Yeah. The number of people who would be in your position, who have come out the other end and choosing their family over alcohol, you are in the minority, for sure. For sure. And what an amazing place for you to be in, not just for you, but for your family and for us as well.
Yeah, thank you. And I'll keep everyone updated where I'm at, and I'm sure that it's been tough now, but I'm sure that it's going to have tough moments. But we'll just, as it comes, I guess. I'm definitely a million times happier. Like, I saw this guy like dancing at the bus stop this morning, and I openly lolled. And I don't like. April's always said to me, she's like, "We're watching something funny, you never laugh," and it's like I'm amused, but I'm like, fuck, like I'm mucking around with the kids and stuff like that, and having so much fun when I wasn't previously because it was like something else was controlling who I was. But yeah, sorry to dump that on you again, but yeah. And again, if I haven't responded to you or whatever, it's not that I'm being rude, and I apologize. There's just so many stories just like that one. So, yeah.
I think don't ever apologize because, when this stuff comes out, it's so important for yourself to give it oxygen. But also, we see it every time that we do an episode on this topic, and it benefits so many people. And so we did have, if you're listening, we didn't plan this.
No, I plan to acknowledge the people that I haven't had a chance to get back to and read out that one because one of those ones that I couldn't shake it. It was just there, and I felt like it needed some air, and then I just pulled on that piece of string, and I needed to get that out. So.
Yeah, it's like a river. Once it starts flowing, ain't nothing getting in the way. It cuts its own path.
Well said. Like a giant stream. Okay.
Once it grows.
But we promise that next housekeeping episode, we'll actually get to the things that we need to.
People are like, read my question.
Sorry.
People did say, the greedy fuckers. I was like, 2 episodes a week. And they were like, what about Fridays?
You never know.
I was like,
you never say never. And like the one thing this journey has taught me as well is there's physically and mentally nothing that I can't do. So I'm not going to rule out the ever chance of there being a 3rd episode. Okay. Sorry to put that on you, but you never,
fucking Vic's,
you never know.
Vic is like, okay.
You never know. You never know. I think.
Who's going to edit this bit?
We'll figure that out later. Don't worry about that. But I think okay. There's a lot of stuff that we need to get through. So just bear with us.
But just know if you are waiting for your doting dilemma, your parent hack, or your parent to be read out, it will
90 business days.
At some point in 2026, it will happen.
Don't promise the year, Matthew.
Just keep listening.
It's already June, pretty much.
Oh God, 6 months. But please send us all your thoughts.
Maybe we'll just write a book with it.
But if you've enjoyed this episode, we would love it if you would follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, so the episodes get delivered directly into your inbox. And also, just a couple of words, a little review, a comment, any sign of life from
A
you.
sign of life. We're still here.
Just say still present.
Blink twice if you're still with us.
Either in the episodes individually on Spotify, or you can do it overall on Apple Podcasts.
Or on socials, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Or share it with a friend, especially if you think anyone that could use this episode. And if you're sitting there thinking and having that's another thing too, just quickly. Majority of pissheads daydream about being sober. If you're sitting there daydreaming, listening to this about being sober, pull the trigger, put yourself first, put your kids first, put your family first. It's really important.
And thank you, Ash, for opening up. And thank you to the Doters for joining us on these new episodes every second Monday.
See ya.
Bye.